Hello guys, I think I'm Hercules here. Welcome to the channel. And today, man, we're going to be talking about two of my favorite series going at it. We got Warframes, the Tenno versus the Guardians, not Guardians of the Galaxy. We're not talking about Star-Lord. We ain't got no fuck ups over here. We talking about the Destiny Guardians, the ones who make their own fate. Let's get right into it. Let's just start off with, I know the first question is, for any people who don't know, let's just go over who is and what is a Warframe, and then who is and what is a Guardian. Let's get out, the biography of these guys. Let's get to it. And here we go. We're going to start off with the Guardians. Alright guys, what I always do for people who are new to the channel, I like to read the wiki a little bit if it is there, and then I also go over it in my own way. So we'll just go veering on and off. Here we are. Guardians are resurrected corpses brought to life by the Traveler's Light, carried by a ghost, an artificially intelligent flying robot that can assist the Guardian in tactical situations. Guardians do not remember anything from their past life prior to the resurrection. They are a standing army of specialized soldiers tasked with the defense of the last city of Earth. They are responsible for exploring the remnants of human civilization abandoned throughout the solar system and investigating the remains of their golden age. So, basically, Guardians are super soldiers who gained abilities through this orb that's in the sky. It's called the Traveler, and it gives off light, and that light gives them energy and powers such as, I can't talk about the powers yet, that comes later. I almost gave you guys too much. I was about to leave 43 seconds. Oh, I know what they do. Bye now, Alright, so, moving on. Now it's time for us to talk about the Tenno. Alright. In case you guys don't know why I keep saying it like that, here you go.
Tenno.
The Tenno were created in an incident long before the war during the Void Era, when a ship called the Zamarin 10-0 became involved in a void jump accident that sent it lost in the chaotic subdimensional space known as the Void. The ship re-emerged from the Void and was recovered only days later, completely intact, but the only survivors found were children whose exposure to the Void energies had twisted and changed them, giving them inexplicable powers and abilities. So basically, they were on a ship. The ship went into trans-dimensional space, and it was the Void, and then that Void had basically got rid. I don't know if it killed or disappeared everyone. Let me know in the comments. I'm not like a War 4 lore genius. I don't make Warframe lore videos for a living. So it made only survivors were children, and those children had the abilities. Okay guys, so we're going to start off with the Guardians for abilities. It's split between three classes, right? They harness light energy and transmute it into arc, void, and solar energy. In between those three subclasses that each one has, there's the class that withholds it, which is the Titan, the Warlock, and the Hunter. We're going to start with the Hunter, okay guys? So we got the Hunter, which first move introducing Forsaken was the Blade Barrage, was vault into the air and unleash a volley of solar charged explosive knives. We have the Spectral Blade, summon a pair of deadly Void Blades and start the battlefield in the Veil of Shadows. We got the Whirlwind Guard, which is similar to the Arc Staff. All it does is add the ability to deflect projectiles and things of that nature. We got the Titan, who comes with things like the Hammer of Soul, which summons a flaming hammer and rain down destruction upon your enemies. We got the Striker, which allows the player to jump up and upon landing release a field of electric blue arc energy over a set radius, heavily damaging any enemies within. We also got the Banner Shield. Activating it grants the Titan a shield for a short time, which can be thrown or used to block attacks and perform devastating shield charges. For the Warlock, we got the Nova Rat, which allows the Warlock to make short distance teleports around the map and cause large deadly explosion. It has its own movement speed when you're doing it, right? So you're slowed down. We got the Well of Radiance. You plant a rift that grants healing, gives 50% damage reduction, and also gives 25% damage empowerment to the user and all allies. This could be a very, very important move in a versus battle. And last but not least, we have the Attunement of Control, which is basically unlimited power. Don't unsubscribe to me because of that. I'm so sorry. You know what?
Sorry.
Now I want to give a run through of some of the other abilities they have, like things we just can't forget, like the Shadow Shot, which tells foes to avoid anchors, slowing, weakening, and suppressing them for the whole team. We got Golden Gun from the Hunter, which summons a flaming pistol, which disintegrates enemies with solar light. Golden Gun forms a hand cannon supercharged with solar elemental energy and allowed to deal incredibly high amount of damage. The ability expires after 10 seconds or about 3 shots. And we also cannot forget about like the Nova Bomb from the Warlock, which entraps enemies in this, well, Nova Bomb and disintegrates them. So I feel like those were coming in hand. And one thing I really must mention before I move forward, because I know some Guardians are raging about this. Stasis. To be honest, control of the darkness could be a major variable, but they are fighting now, not November. So sorry Zavala, sorry Ares Morn, and sorry Lord Shaxx, you get no stasis. Everything about the Warframes, I'm bringing up they have right now. I didn't bring up anything they're going to get years from now. I didn't bring up frames from 2 years from now. I'm bringing up everything that's right now. They're fighting at the date of this video releasing. And here we go. Abilities for the Tenno/Warframe. While there may be more abilities, only 6 will come into play, but I must go through them all just so I can say, here's what the Warframes can do. Alright guys, here we go. Rock Reformation, Sound Manipulation, Dragon Incarnate, Yin/Yang Energy, Ice Manipulation, Crystalline Manipulation, Water Manipulation, Hunter Marksman, Space Manipulation, Stealth and Deception, Magnetic Control, Gunslinger 100%, Cloning, Revival of the Dead, Parasite Control, Mind Control, Telekinesis, Sentient Energy Control, Temporarily Invulnerability, can reapply, Size Manipulation, Self-Healing, Energy Siphon, Wind Manipulation, Fire Manipulation, Lightning Fast Speed, Mental Manipulation, Technology Tampering, Kinetic Empowerment, Bio Manipulation, Accelerated Digestive System, Void Manipulation, Sand Manipulation, and Conjuring. Poison Detectability and Control, Magnetic Control, and Antimatter Manipulation, Gadget Mastery, Size Manipulation, Matter Manipulation, Enhanced Weaponry, i.e. Garuda Claws, Wu-Kang Staff, and the Exalted Blade, Paralysis, and Portal Opening. Whew, goddamn. It seemed over already, ain't it? So I'm gonna go off script for a second, guys. So even though that we see that it seems like the Warframe have so many abilities that it really looks out of hand, people that play Destiny know like Guardians beat people with all of these things or some of combined all the time. You know, that's the biggest thing that's going to make this battle interesting is Guardians decide their own fate. I need you guys to understand that. Guardians write their own fate. They write their own destiny. That's why the game is called Destiny, because they're just like prophecy. They beat inevitable, overwhelming odds all the time. That is the spirit and embodiment of what a Guardian is. They beat shit that they just is like, how did they do that? How did they beat that? How did they make that victory? So far the format been to talk about Guardians, then Warframes, Guardians, then Warframes. This time, for the next section, we're going to flip it. We're going to talk about Warframes, then Guardians. We're talking about their weaponry now. So now, a Tenno is a master of the arts only reduced by their imagination. Tenno can use just about any type of weaponry, even the enemy's weapons. It is no doubt in my mind that if the Tenno came into a Thunderlord, I don't see a reason as to why they couldn't use it, other than unless Destiny exotic weapons require you to have light to even use the weapon, which would make sense. So maybe they couldn't. That's actually an interesting question. Could Tenno use Guardian weaponry? Anyway, I don't think they would be needed. Tenno come with weapons such as the Phage. It's a shotgun that lives. And it has 7 beams, and the beams can all cone in as you aim it in. Have weapons like the Soma, which just shoot bullets. You got the Nuclear, something that shoots like radiated energy out of it consistently. Having melee weapons such as the Dragon Arcana, the Gamma Core. They have the Boltor, automatic rifle that shoots per beaming bolts out of it. The Opticore, which is plasma weaponry. They have Parasis. They have Warframes have guns that are alive, guns that are dead, guns that use tech, plasma. But it really isn't in just the weaponry with the Warframes. The special thing comes with the modifications that they can put onto the guns. Warframes have the ability to make their guns corrosive, viral, frozen, fire, electric, acid. They can make it all types of elements. They blast. They can do so many things to their weaponry and mix these elements. And they can do it to their primary weapon, secondary weapon, and heavy weapon. So for this, I won't really be talking about what the weaponry of the Tenno is, because I won't be talking about that at the end of the battle when I decide what they're actually going to take into the fight. But what I will say is that the Warframe has so many weapons that it would literally be like a 10-minute video just saying all the weapons they have. Trust me, guys, you don't want me to just list Tenno weapons. Whereas for the Guardians, I'm actually going to go over their weapons because we're going to be talking about their exotic weapons, because here's the interesting thing. Guardians can only use one exotic weapon at a time, and for gameplay understanding, I'm pretty sure it's so that people don't walk around with 6 exotic things on at a time, you know. And for lore-wise, it's been, to the best understanding that we have been giving, is that exotic weapons drain light away from the user, so using multiple exotics would just prove counterproductive. Similar to like Super Saiyan 3. Yeah, you may be more powerful, but you can't really sustain it, so what is the power really for? Alright, so on to the Guardians' exotic weapons that I want to mention, some of their best. The first weapon I'm obviously going to mention is the Destiny holy grail of weapons, the Gjallarhorn. The Gjallarhorn was an exotic rocket launcher in Destiny 1. And what it did was it shot a rocket, and the rocket had tracking on it, and it exploded. And it came with an exotic perk called Wolfpack, in which not only would that rocket explode, it would blast off into other rockets, and those rockets would also explode. All of those aforementioned rockets having tracking on them. So basically, it was a tracking super nuke. It was boom. And all of those little missiles were all hitting you. It would wipe out whole entire teams in PvP. It would nuke raid bosses. This weapon is what killed Crota. If it is explained lore-wise, that is the weapon that killed Crota. They also come equipped with weapons such as the Thorn, a hand cannon that drains the very essence and light away from you with every piercing hand cannon bolt. We also got the Divinity, you know, exotic tracer rifle, which sustains damage with the weapon, envelops the target in the field that weakens and disrupts them. We got the Trinity Ghoul, a combat bow with precision kills with the bow that causes a devastating electric storm to all nearby enemies. And the last gun I want to move on, because I just want to go over some like really notable ones. I want to talk about 2 more guns. One was the Vex Mythal class, a fusion rifle that appears to, it's a fusion rifle, so it's supposed to have a charge time, but it's a fusion rifle without no charge time, and you get it from Time's Conflux, and I'm guessing that it's supposed to be going back in time, right? Because that's a special ability of the Vex. So as you're shooting the gun, it's going back in time and it's having that charge time, but that charge time is negated because it's going back in time before you shot it in the beginning of that charge. That would be my best explanation for the lore. I don't know. I just make these theories up, and I just assume like it just makes sense. And before we get into some more juicy stuff, we're gonna get over some like house cleaning type things. Nothing like go follow this person or go like this or go subscribe to this. That's safe for a different time. We're just gonna be talking about like their teamwork is equivalently like the same. Like in lore wise and in gameplay, Tenno work together just as good as the Guardians work together. But both their teamwork is unparred. It's no flaws in their teamwork, from what I'm saying. Now, so one thing I will say is Guardians do have this one little thing where personal vendettas do come into play, like Eris Morn and Zavala and Cade, and once again like Zavala sorry Zavala, or Lord Shax and Lord Saladin. So there are a little bit of like disgruntledness, but when it comes to defending and fighting, they're gonna defend and they're gonna fight and they're gonna work as hard as they can. So teamwork, same. Stats, which I mean, we're going over the basic: speed, strength, and intelligence. Those are the main things you'll look at when you talk about stats for someone. Tenno is winning in speed. There's no doubt that they're the ninjas. For intellect, I give it to Guardians because of the Warlock class. They are just, they're scholars. They're like overwhelming scholars. That's what Warlocks do. They study, they read, and they learn ancient arts and from the Golden Age. Strength, I wanted to say Ty was wavering because of the Titan, and Guardians are extremely durable. Anyone that knows Guardians know they're durable. They survive falls off the tower. You got like Eris Morn who survived in the actual literal darkness and just did all these crazy things survive. You got Osiris who survived the Vex, and Ashamir who survived encounters with the Vex. They survived some of these things that they should never survive, and on top of that, the Titans are very durable as well. The fact that Guardians are, I'm sorry it took me this long to say this, immortal. And then we have experience, which is still part of the house cleaning guys. We got 6 years of experience for Guardians, and then for Warframes you got 8 years of experience, because both of these are live action games, and it's been said like Destiny's in like year 6. That's how it goes. Like Destiny year 1, year 2, and then Destiny 2, and then whatever. So both of them have like the same experience, and neither one remembers anything from before time. So experience the same, stats have been going over, and now we can move back into the juicy stuff. One last thing, guys. I want to go over another category. Technology, same. They both can travel the entire solar system. Maybe at best it'll be a slight advantage for the Tenno because of like Arcwing, but the battle isn't going to be Arcwing. But they both have shown like extreme advance in technology, and they're both so far beyond us that I can't say which one is more advanced. I just know both of them are advanced as hell. So there you go, guys. Technology same, experience same, and then stats was one was Tenno, one was Guardian, and then the last was equal. So what I was thinking about doing actually, guys, was just giving them one boss to represent how strong you are, who is your greatest feat. And I think it's safe to say that the greatest feat for the Warframes would be the Eidolon Hydralis, a Titan Spectral Sentient Eidolon creature, right? And it's large enough that it's wielding a strut of ancient spacecraft as a weapon, and its large arcane energies create localized storm system wherever it surfaces, right? So it can create storms wherever it goes. Here are the weapons and abilities of the Eidolon Hydralis. You got the Energy Arm Cannon, a Ground Stomp, Ground Smash, Ultra Starfall, Ultra Seeking Bullets. The Arm Swing has Ultra Sentient Residue, has a Vomalist Bloom Summon, has a Summoning Scream, a Regenerating Scream. It generates lightning for its passive, has EMP Pulses, and Sentient Mines. This thing is no joke. I fought this beast a couple times myself. It is very hard to do, but it's on about 3 or 4 Warframes can handle. And for the Guardians, we have, of course, guys, come on, the most notorious Destiny villain, Oryx. Oryx is the sovereign of the Osmium throne, the god king of the Hive, and the master of the Taken. Reborn from the darkness itself through a wicked pact, Oryx is the founder of the Hive race alongside his sisters and fellow deities, Savathun, the Witch Queen, and Zir Arath, the god of war. And basically Oryx let's just go through his abilities. He has, his weapons is the Will Breaker, right? And his abilities are Initial Immunity, Darkness Blast, Grasp of the King, King's Decree, the Will of Oryx, Teleportation, Darkness Dimension, Fist of Darkness, Cast Doxology, Blighted Light, Smile of the King, Smite of the King, he not smiling nowhere, Wrath of the King, High Durability, Rapid Flight, Summon the Taken, the Hive, the Tomb Ship, and he also summoned Shade. So, he's a summoner. If you ask me, guys, I think low def Oryx wipes Eidolons. Like, Oryx is the most powerful thing I've seen between Destiny and Warframe, and I think that's what makes the things most interesting. So with no further ado, we know who Oryx is. We know who the Eidolons are. We know what the Warframes are. We know what the Guardians are. We know who I am. I know who y'all are. Y'all hurt your brows, right? Let's get into who will the 6 Guardians be composed of, and who will the 6 Warframes be. I already got this together, guys. I actually did this on day 4. So here we go. The 6v6 will consist of, for your Warframe side, you got Excalibur, you got Nova, you got Trinity, you got Rhino, you got Vauban, and you got Equinox. Let's go through this again so you can understand the support, the tank, and then the rules. You got Excalibur as your primary damage dealer. You got Nova as your secondary damage dealer. You got Trinity as your tank. You got Rhino as your second tank. You got Vauban as your support, and then you got Equinox as your last support. And then, of course, for the Warlocks, you got a Sunsinger Warlock. You gotta have that Resurrection. Defender Titan. We needs that bubble. We need that Radiant Shield. We got the Gunslinger Hunter. You already know we out there back there with the Golden Gun. We got the Voidwalker Warlock just to do some damage and teleportation, you know, causing chaos on the battlefield. We got the Blade Dancer Hunter going invisible and then out there striking foes with massive arc damage. Then we got the Striker Titan. The one thing I want to say about that Striker Titan is you ain't stopping that fist. You better just make sure it ain't coming your way. Let's go in and do a... Nah, let's go and get to the fight. Alright guys, this is day 5 of recording, and I'm gonna say this, guys. I do not know who wins this death battle. I slept over it. I thought about it throughout the day, and I'm not trying to cop out. It can go either way. Like, you're looking at, because for one, the Warframes have to find out that the Guardians are immortal unless you kill their ghosts, right? And then you go with the fact that just the things that Guardians have beaten. But then I'm also looking on the other side like, yeah, but they ain't fighting no Tenno. Like, I guess in their universes, I say like, if Tenno were in Destiny, they probably would be the Darkness. That would be how strong of a foe he was. And if the Guardians were in Warframe, they would be shit, something we ain't seen in Warframe. Like this, like what controls the sentience, what made the sentience. It would be like of that level. Like people, like for the Warframe people that don't understand, Guardians are just blessed by the light, and they just are super durable, and they're war conquerors. They beat people they've beaten the Cabal, people that have taken over entire planets. They've beaten the Vex, people who go back and forth, machines that go back and forth through time, and they literally are like a hive mind that can it can do so many incredible things. Like if the Vex don't like something, they go back in time and they just change it, and they just change it, and they just change it. They fuck around with time so much that in the Destiny universe, our current reality could actually literally be the world that the Vex want it to be. Like they run simulations and all this stuff. And you got the Hive, they worship like dark rituals and dark magic, and they're able to ascend and make themselves be able to die more than one time. You can die in the physical realm, but you must beat me in my ascended realm. And they actually are eating the light. It gets tough when you talk about who the Guardians beat. But then I look at what the Warframes can do, and I'm like, the Warframes have so much more modifications, from the viral damage, the corrosive damage, the plasma weaponry, tech weaponry, just regular kinetic weaponry. I'm looking at the versatility with the Warframes. But if you're talking in a 6v6 battle, I'm looking at where Guardian, if you guys had to put my money on it, I would say the Guardians can actually beat the Warframes. Let me explain why I think Guardians can beat Warframes, because this is where it get crazy. From the beginning of this, when I started off, I said Warframes win this, like easy. Oh my god, low diff. That was my initial thought. Especially when I was going through the abilities, but I really look at it. The thing about the Warframes that make them gods here is like the Warframes, and when you start to strip some of those away, you start to be like, oh man, see, that's the thing with the Guardians, is just condensed impact. You got Titan, Hunter, Warlock. All three, right, from our players can do all three subclasses. So we got 3 people off the rip that can all do solar damage, arc damage, void damage. Versus with the Warframe, like example, like if you just go any Warframes, right? If I was just doing just Warframes, you could pick like Rhino, Valkyr, Inaros, Trinity, and Frost, and you can have like 6 basic tanks and healers, and yeah, but like where's the damage gonna be come from? I'm not saying they can't deal damage, but I'm looking at it like, can you kill a Guardian with no actual damages? When you split it all up and you start to take their abilities away, like if the Warframes had the entire list of sand manipulation, time manipulation, mind manipulation, spinning space time, and all those things, then it becomes the Warframe. But in a group setting of 6v6, you can see the more you take away the Warframes from them, the more vulnerable they become to be. And I also look at the Guardians they may have the same experience like our Guardian, but Guardians have a longer experience. Like they've been doing this. Like you can learn from Zavala, you can learn from Lord Shax, you can learn from Lord Saladin, you can learn from Saint 14. You can learn from Eris Morn, you can learn from K6. Like in Warframe, like who can the Tenno learn from? Who did the Tenno have to look up to? I would say, I forgot his name. I can't remember his name. He controls the PvP aspect of Warframe. But that's it. Okay, that's like Lord Shax. What else do you got? You want to say y'all got the mother, I forget, Lotus. Okay, I say Lotus and Ordis. For Ordis, you got the Traveler. Ordis can't bring people back to life infinitely. Or the Traveler can do that. The Ghost can do that. And then you go with Lotus. Lotus is just your concierge. She gives you information. We have a bunch of Lotus. It's a bunch of people who care about the Guardian and are willing to protect them. You got the Speaker was once one. You got the Vanguard, which is Vala, Cade, RIP, and Akora. You got, it's a bunch of people. You got Eris, you got Anna Bray. You got a bunch of people that have taught the Guardians. Like when Guardians need help, they're not like all alone. And I'm gonna say like with Guardians have other Guardians to help. Now I'm gonna say like Guardians don't slap out of in a 6v6. It probably come down to like, I would say the last Warframe that'll live. Honestly, my opinion, I just go ahead and say Rhino. Rhino will be the last Warframe that'll live, and it'll turn to like a Rhino versus, I don't know, a Rhino versus a Titan battle. I honestly think that the Titan can beat one Rhino, because I think it's more because we've seen more feats from Guardians as the Warframe lore continues to add on to, because you gotta think Warframe had really just started doing this with like the Second Dream, I think in like 2016, so it's like a little behind the curve. And Warframe has had Destiny said DLCs upon DLCs and then Grimoire books and all these things to explain like how terrifying their foes are. But one more scenario, guys. So we got the 6v6. I say it comes down to Rhino and a Titan, and I think a Titan will win that. Even if like you can even go with Rhino versus a Warlock, I think a Warlock win that. Like I just look at what they can do. I just think they win. And finally, what is a scenario for you guys? Let's get some scenarios in the comments, guys. What do y'all think? What kind of Warframes do y'all want to see against the Guardians? What kind of odds would y'all like to see? More realistic ones? I know I couldn't set up as best as I can because, guys, it would have been like a 40-50 minute video setting up all these different scenarios and explaining all these different weapons. I know some things I said I was going to gloss over that I ended up not glossing over, and I'm sorry for that. I write a script and then I also try to be real in my videos, so I go a little bit off script. But please, guys, let me know what y'all think, man. Like some of the things I said was like, can 6 Warframes kill Oryx? Can the Warframes use exotic weapons in Destiny? Give me a battle scenario that you guys want to see. Let me know in the comments about future ones. That's all I got, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Give it to your friends. Share it to the Guardians. Share this to the Warframe people. Let them know, like, yeah, and you look, once again, guys, I'm unbiased. I love them both so much. Like, if I really had to say, like, it's literally equal.
Do it! I'm glad you were here today. Talk out my fear to my nature arachnus. Bioshock shit, I'm strapped with plasmids. Mega bust up when I'm snapping like a spassin' square. What happened? I'm on the tear when I spit. I be everywhere like I'm Book of the Whip.